Are my judges ready? All right. There are many different forms of art in which we never take the time to appreciate them. An artist's art is their way of not losing sight of their purpose. Hi, my name is Tiara, Ingram, and tonight I will be presenting art in many different forms. Well, let me to my project. I have a really big admiration for art. I have always had the admiration for art growing up. It's been a way to relieve stress for me. With my busy life and schedule, it's been the easiest way that I've found to relieve some of my stress. I also find beauty in some of the smallest things, and art has helped me through a lot. My research was body modification in the workplace, and there's a big controversy as to whether or not it should be in the workplace. My opinion on that is it depends on what pursuit occupation you are going to pursue. If you are something along the lines of a doctor, nurse, or police officer, your primary duty is to make sure our lives are not in danger and that we are healthy. At the end of the day, body modification should not matter in those jobs, but if you are something along the lines of a judge or of high authority, you should not really show body modification in the workplace. My research mainly was history and how body modification started. The earliest form that we found was from 2000 BC, which is now in Romania and Ukraine. Before 7,000 years ago, there was no form of body modification at all. A study from 2003, I found that 48 million people in the world have at least one piercing or tattoo. There's many different reasons as to why people get tattoos and piercings. The first one being for beauty, art, and fashion. We do it to keep up with today's social norms and what we think is in and what's not in. The second was individuality. It sets us apart from everyone else. It's our self-expression, so it leads us to being our own individual. The number three is personal narrative. Like I said before, it's an expression for yourself. It expresses who you are on the inside and what you want to be. Number four was physical endurance. Some people use tattoos and body modification as a competition. They see who can endure the most pain, and I don't really feel like that should be so high on the list. But number five was group affiliation and event resistance. Depending on which group you hang out with or the people that you are surrounded by, you have different things you're into or different ways that you express yourself. Number six being spirituality and cultural tradition. There's many cultures that have body modifications in their beliefs. Number seven is addiction. I've had many people throughout my life that have been addicted to something unhealthy or something that's not put them on the right path, and they use body modification as a way to express themselves in a different, more healthy manner. Number eight is sexual motivation. Many people get vulgar or explicit tattoos, and they use them as just a way to express themselves in that area. And then nine was no specific reason at all. It could have just been because they jumped to the conclusion at the last minute, or they wanted to go with somebody who was also getting another form of tattoos or piercings. Now, there's many different methods to tattooing. There's manually, and then there's with a tattoo gun. Manually is where they actually take either a fish hook or some sort of device, and they actually push it in and out of your skin with their hands. The tattoo gun it's not an actual gun, but it's a little chamber that holds the needle about 1 to 2 inches. And depending on your artist and who you get the tattoo from, it depends on how deep they put the depth of the ink. It usually ranges from 1 to 2 millimeters in your skin. How with body modification, you do face being stereotyped. There's many people on social media and things that model body modifications, and what they view as okay, many other people tend to think that it's okay. So if they are making risky sexual behaviors, eating disorders, or drug and alcohol abuse okay, it's stereotyped that people with body modifications also believe that that's okay. Now, in the 1990s, there was a big cultural explosion when people began to understand that body modifications were becoming more prominent. And since then, people and businesses are becoming more lenient towards body modifications in the workplace. Now, my research and my product led me to this because I have an admiration for tattoos and piercings. I myself have 6 tattoos and like 3 or 4 piercings. The job that I currently have, they don't really have strict rules on tattoos and piercings as long as they're not vulgar. If they're vulgar, you're just asked to cover them up and keep them covered while you're on the job. But as far as future occupations go, I don't plan to stay at the job I have now forever. So I plan to be along the lines of a judge or something of higher authority. And I do feel that when I become that my body modifications will be covered. My product was a photography portfolio. It was supposed to be between 30 to 35 pictures. It ended up being 37. The timeline was strange for me because I'm not used to like doing things and being the leader in projects. I'm used to just following along with everyone else. So that was a bit strange for me. The goals that I set for myself at the beginning of my project versus how it ended at the end were completely different. The challenges that I faced were definitely time management. With my busy work and school schedule, I had to find time to actually go out and take the photographs for my portfolio. I also procrastinate a lot. I put things off to the very last minute, and so I run out of time to do them properly. There was also uncontrollable factors, being the weather. There was 3 separate occasions where I had went out to take photographs at certain locations, and the weather prohibited that for me. And then the editing was kind of weird at the end. I had to find a website that was easy for me to learn within the time that I had, and I had to make sure that it was going to be something that could edit my pictures a way that would be simple enough for my project. Now, art connects us all in tremendous ways. I found my way to express myself, and I hope that you guys have found yours. Thank you. Do my judges have any questions?
So what did you take pictures of?
I took pictures of different sculptures, different body modifications. I have pictures of drawings that people drew for me for this specific project. I also have pictures from my vacation when I went to New York of the Statue of Liberty, because sculptures, I believe, are different types of art as well.
Good.
Any other questions?
Did you create a book of these? Is it an electronic?
I have them printed off, but originally they were just on my Google Drive. I didn't have plans to print them off, but within the guidelines that we had, I had to print them off.
What made you decide to do this type of, what made you decide to do that research and then do this project?
Well, I had just recently started my job whenever we came to the beginning of senior year and we were trying to figure out senior project topics. And they had asked me, whether or not I was going to get more body modifications or if, I was going to cover them or keep them uncovered. So it just kind of made me wonder what everybody else does and what different jobs and businesses allow it and don't allow it. So I was interested and did research, and that led me to my project. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.